Hello, hi everyone. Welcome back to Woo Can Cook. My name is Wesley, and this is a show where we are slowly cooking our way through all of the food from my childhood. Today we're diving back into our series dedicated to foods from TV and film with a shot at a garlic snow pea chicken stir fry inspired by this classic scene from Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah, I'd like 3 orders of garlic chicken.
And then
3 orders of white rice.
And then...
Oh, hey, you guys want soup?
Sure.
Yeah, 3 orders of wonton soup. Oh, some fortune cookies too.
Yes, vintage Ashton. Anyway, those that have followed along with this channel will likely know that a dish named garlic chicken is an incredibly broad and vague description for a stir fry because, as you might guess, garlic and chicken are in a lot of stir fries. This, of course, means that we have ample room for interpretation today since the only requirements are that our stir fry must have garlic and chicken. So today I thought I'd use this as an opportunity to explore a wonderful vegetable that is super commonly found in Chinese stir fries, but somehow has not yet found its way into our repertoire quite yet, which is the snow pea. For those unfamiliar, a snow pea is a flat podded pea with thin and crispy walls. They have a crunchy and fibrous texture to them, not unlike its relative, the snap pea, but with a thinner and more delicate shell, making it excellent for high heat flash cooking and stir frying. So, to pair with this wonderfully delicate veggie, we'll be doing our dish today with an acid-forward, bright sauce element highlighting our rice vinegar and shaoxing wine, which should complement our snow peas nicely. Then finally, since it is in the name after all, I thought that this would be an appropriate time to jam as much goddamn garlic into this dish as we possibly can, with a crispy garlic chip finish to our stir fry as well. Okay, so let's get into it. Alright, so jumping right in here, we're kicking things off with our garlic, which, as I mentioned, we will be doubling today since it will be appearing in 2 separate aspects of our dish. First up, we're starting by crushing and mincing 4 cloves of garlic for the aromatics of our stir fry, as we often do. The crush to our garlic here is going to release the allicin, or I guess the garlic juice from the clove, which will bring out a lot of that garlicky nature here. This, along with the 1 inch or about 1 tablespoon of fine minced ginger, will be heading into our wok very first to bloom out their fragrant and aromatic qualities. Then next, getting back to our garlic here, we're taking another additional 8 cloves of garlic and slicing them up thinly for our crispy garlic flake finish. Now, as you might guess, since we aren't crushing the garlic for this second portion, this makes peeling our garlic a whole lot harder to do. A paring knife will help, but if you also happen to have a giant bag of pre-peeled garlic on hand like I do, you can also save yourself 10 minutes and just use this stuff instead too. Most importantly though, remember that since this garlic is not crushed, the allicin has also not opened up either, meaning that we won't get nearly as much garlickiness out of these flakes as we will with our crushed garlic. This is why we have so much redundancy here with our garlic, because really garlic flakes are delicious, but they actually don't give you a whole lot of garlicky qualities though. Next up, moving on to our veggies, this is half of a medium white onion that I'm large dicing by removing the tip end as well as the first 2 layers. Then we're dicing the remaining onion up with the root end still attached for an even dice. Then next, moving on to our snow peas, this is about half a pound or 8 ounces that I'm sorting through, removing any that I can find that have these brown spots on them, like this. This is spoiled and you should definitely throw these out. Then next, this bit is optional, but I've always found that the tip ends of the snow peas are a little bit stringy and chewy, so I like to go through and remove this tip end as well. Moving on to our chicken, today I'm going with chicken breast, but chicken thigh will also work just fine as well. For our chicken breast though, I'm starting by butterflying it open so that we may achieve a more even dice here, since otherwise the thickness of that chicken breast is going to be wildly inconsistent. Then I'm slicing this up into strips and then adding it to a bowl so that we may get to our marinade next. This is 4 tablespoons of soy sauce here to start, followed by a single tablespoon of sesame oil, which I specifically like adding to chicken breast to add a little bit of fat for our sear later on. If you're using chicken thigh though, which contains more fat naturally, you can also just omit this bit. Rounding this out is going to be a single tablespoon of shaoxing wine to help tenderize our chicken, followed by half a teaspoon each of white pepper and cornstarch. Finally, I'm giving this all a toss to combine, then we're setting it aside to marinate for 30 minutes while we dive into our sauce next. Alright, so as I mentioned earlier, we're dealing with a number of fairly light and delicate veggies today, not just our snow peas, but our onions as well. So to pair with this, I'm trying not to go too dark or heavy with our sauce, which will sort of wash out that crisp and sweet qualities of our veggies otherwise. Going in here first is a baseline of 4 tablespoons of soy sauce to start, followed by our bright acids. This is 2 tablespoons each of rice vinegar and shaoxing wine. Yes, I know, that's an entire quarter cup of acids that we're adding, but I assure you it's gonna work out okay. Then next, to round this out, I'm adding just a single tablespoon each of dark soy sauce and doubanjiang for some heat and umami, followed by 2 tablespoons of chili crisp oil to create a nice lingering quality to all of this. Finally, I'm mixing this all up to combine, then in a separate bowl, I'm combining 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with water for our cornstarch slurry, and we're heading over to the stove. Over on the stove, I have my wok heating up as hot as possible. Then I'm adding 4 tablespoons of peanut oil and, as always, long yao for that nice non-stick surface. Then kicking things off here first, I'm adding in my marinated chicken, remembering to hold back as much of this liquid in our marinade as possible. This liquid is not only going to make it harder for our wok to maintain temperature, but also more importantly, it's going to lead to lots of oil splattering, which is never good. I'm spreading my chicken out evenly across the wok, then letting it sear undisturbed for 2.5 minutes, rotating the wok on occasion to keep that fat and oil moving around and avoid burning. 2.5 minutes later, we're giving our wok a toss for some nice wok hay, courtesy of the extra fat from our sesame oil that we added earlier. You're welcome. Then I'm letting this go for another minute before removing. Left behind here in our wok, we have all of this wonderful chicken fat fond that we definitely don't want to go to waste, so I'm deglazing here with my sauce element plus about a quarter cup of water to help move things along. I'm giving this about a minute on heat to burn off just a little bit of the abrasiveness of those vinegars before removing and reheating my wok one more time for our stir fry next. Going in here first is another 4 tablespoons of peanut oil and 1 more long yao, followed by my aromatic veggies. Here's my crushed garlic and minced ginger going in for about 15 seconds until nice and fragrant. Then next I'm adding in my onions for a very brief 1-minute head start before following up with my snow peas. Remember that both of these veggies are extremely delicate, so at this point we're working very quickly to avoid overcooking these. I'm giving my veggies a very quick 1-minute toss before adding my chicken back to the wok to combine, followed by my sauce element. Then last up, here's my cornstarch slurry going in to help thicken up our sauce base, followed by 1 more quick toss to combine before removing and setting this all aside while we reset our wok one more time for our garlic chips. We're shallow frying these over medium-low heat today, which, if you've got one, works best in a rounded bottom wok, as you'll see in a moment. I'm adding another 4 tablespoons of peanut oil to my wok, then adding my garlic into the rounded center area of the wok where the oil is pooling up. This is going to be a low and slow endeavor, quite the opposite of wok cooking as you might imagine, so don't get impatient and try and raise the heat here to speed things along. I'm giving this a solid 5 to 10 minutes until we have lightly golden brown garlic chips, which should be at about 80% doneness. As always, remember to remove those garlic chips before they're finished cooking through to account for carryover cook. Back over on the cutting board, we're adding our stir fry over rice, followed by a healthy serving of our garlic chips on top, and we're ready to eat. Alright, so those that have followed along with this series will know that we have done many stir fries that at face value look a lot like this one. For me, the one that came to mind the most while I was working on this recipe was our Panda Express string bean chicken from a few months back, which is to say there's a protein, a couple of veggies, and a sauce base that has been flash cooked over high heat. Pretty straightforward stir fry. What I love about this dish though is that the snow pea is actually incredibly unique from the other vegetables that we have generally cooked with. Other more dense veggies like our string beans are more durable and sturdy, requiring extensive par cooking before they are tender enough to cook through in a stir fry. Snow peas, on the other hand, are so thin and so delicate that the brief 2 to 3 minute flash cook is more than enough cook time to cook through. Any longer than this and we would have ended up with limp, floppy, wet noodle snow peas like my first attempt. Here. Womp. Then finally, in case you were worried that this is an absolutely insane amount of garlic for one single stir fry, I think I used close to an entire head of garlic here. Those garlic chips on top are a nice bit of texture as a finishing garnish that also doesn't overwhelm since after all we have fried the living daylight out of them. Okay, so that's it everyone. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you give this one a shot. For those who are new to this channel, this one is part of a larger series that we've been doing that's dedicated to reproducing foods from TV and film, so definitely check out that series next if you haven't yet because there's a lot of these. For the Bay Area locals, the Woo Can Cook Fried Rice Pop-Up is back at Novel Brewing in Oakland tonight, so come by and say hi if you can. More about that at woocancook.com/eats. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, be nice interneters, and I'll see you soon. Bye.